Hey YouTube, I hope you guys are all doing well. It's Adrian Hunter here from over at PipedreamHookah, and today I have a bowl review for you guys. That is not right. There we go. It's actually going to be on the Tangiers Iridescence Bowl, or the Super Chief 2.0, I've heard some people call it. I don't know if I'd necessarily go that far, but intro screen. Alright, so for any of you guys who saw my review on the Bambino Bowl I did a couple of weeks ago, you're going to already be pretty aware that I like to keep the bowl reviews pretty objective and to the point. There's not a whole lot of subjective stuff that goes into bowls. A lot of it's just looking at the dimensions, what type of tobaccos you can pack into it, what type of a pack you actually want to do into that bowl, how long it lasts, all of that good stuff, even stuff like build quality. But before we get into all those objective factors, I'd like to just give you a brief history of these Tangiers bowls, not even just this one necessarily, but Tangiers bowls in general, because they were among the first funnels to hit the market. So let's start at the beginning very quickly. I'm going to try to take 30 seconds to do this. For those of you who aren't already familiar with Tangiers as a brand, they're a very unique brand of tobacco in that you smoke it in a way that you don't smoke any other tobacco. It's a very finely cut burley leaf tobacco, and it actually needs to be dense down very, very dense into the bowl. So you're not going to leave it fluffy, you're actually going to pack a crap load of tobacco into a very small area. Now this creates a few things. It is a little bit heat sensitive, so you got to watch the heat. Most people don't start smoking the Tangier stuff until they are advanced smokers. That is, they've been smoking for a while. So since you actually have to pack the Tangiers down so tightly, it's not going to work very well in something like an Egyptian bowl. If any of you are new to the channel, this is what an Egyptian bowl looks like. It's got 5 holes at the bottom, and you just pack the tobacco over it and you get the air flowing right through the bowl. Now this is an issue with Tangiers back when they first started because of how dense you actually pack the tobacco. When you would pack it into an Egyptian bowl, you get very little airflow because the tobacco wouldn't allow much air to move through it in the first place. So Eric from over at Tangiers needed some product that he could actually smoke his tobacco with, because a lot of people were giving the tobacco negative reviews. No one really liked the stuff because they weren't educated on how to smoke it. So what Eric actually did is he created a bowl just to smoke his tobacco with. And that's how we got these Tangiers bowls. This is a newer Tangiers small, but they've more or less looked similar the entire time. What we have here is a really simple handmade funnel style bowl. So it's just got the rim, this spire, as opposed to the 5 holes in the bottom of the bowl like we have here. And the biggest difference is you pack the tobacco around the bowl and up to the spire. So no matter how densely you actually pack the tobacco, you're always going to get airflow because this hole is always open. But as far as this Egyptian bowl, the typical Egyptian pack covers the entire surface of the bowl. There are ways you can kind of hack the bowl pack to get Tangiers to smoke out of it, but it's never going to be optimal. So that's kind of why we have these bowls in the first place. Now, a few years after he came out with his first funnel bowl like this, we came out with something called the Super Chief. I'll leave an image of that right here, hopefully. And the Super Chief, I'm sure you noticed, looks a little bit like this. A lot of people actually say that this is the Super Chief 2.0, and just very quickly, I want to dispute that. You'll notice that the Super Chief has a much more recessed spire. There's quite a few more holes, and there's a lot more room to actually pack the tobacco. In my opinion, it's just going to perform a lot differently than the actual Iridescence bowl. But yeah, that is why these bowls exist. Now that we've gone through that, and that's been a little bit long-winded, I apologize. Let's get into the meat of the review, starting with specs. Alright, so beginning with specs, I just want to start with the dimensions of the bowl. Now if you look at the bowl measuring it from bottom to the top, that is the height of the bowl, you're actually going to get just around 4 inches. There's really nothing special to say about the height of the bowl. It's not going to really affect the performance. I just want to give you guys an idea of exactly what you're going to be picking up and what the size of the actual product is. So you can expect a 4-inch high bowl with a little bit of variation because these are handmade. This bowl is roughly 2 3/4 of an inch wide. However, you're going to get a little bit of variance here. As a matter of fact, most of these dimensions will vary by like a ½ an inch or so because they're handmade. But Tangiers tends to keep their bowls fairly consistent for being handmade, so that is something to keep in mind. Now as far as the depth of this bowl goes, I didn't want to really measure it because there is so much variance, and when you start to get into the depth of a bowl, it will start to have an actual effect on the performance of the bowl because it deals with capacity. But this particular bowl here, you'll see that it takes up just about 2/3 of a quarter, and that is roughly what you can normally expect from the Tangiers Iridescence Bowl. Now as far as the weight of this bowl, again, like I said with everything here, it varies a bit, but this exact bowl weighs 184 grams. So that's just about par for the course on a bowl of this size with these dimensions. Now as far as capacity goes, at a dense pack, you can get about 22 grams of tobacco in here. If you really wanted to work your way into getting an extra dense pack going, you could probably go as far as 26 grams into this bowl. And before we leave the specs part of this video, I do want to point out to you guys that the walls of this bowl, as well as the walls of every Tangiers bowl, I'm kind of show you this one as well. The walls of these bowls are pretty consistent and they're very nice and beefy and thick. So you're not going to be worried about quality when you pick up one of these bowls. They definitely pay attention to the quality of their product when they're actually producing these. Alright you guys, so at this point you're probably thinking to yourself, great, you just measured a bowl, you gave me arbitrary dimensions on a bowl, and that's just more for the enthusiast who's definitely worried about some of these things. But for those of you who are just maybe interested in starting out in Tangiers as a brand, let me go ahead and tell you what this bowl is great for. And I said it just a second ago, it's great for Tangiers. You actually want to pack Tangiers at a dense pack, and I'll probably do a video on exactly how to perform a dense pack into a bowl like this a little bit later, but I didn't want to include that in this video because it would get quite long-winded if I did. But when you do a dense pack into a bowl, you definitely want your spire to be recessed enough where you can actually get decent airflow. So this bowl is perfect for that. And it has a good amount of depth to it as well. So you can get a very good amount of tobacco in here at a dense pack while leaving your spire wide open. So this is going to give you very good Tangier sessions. Great full flavor, huge clouds, the works. This is a fantastic Tangiers bowl. Now, can you smoke any other tobacco with this bowl? Because it'd be kind of a one-trick pony if you could only smoke Tangiers. If you're not a Tangier smoker, you really wouldn't get any use out of this, you would think. But that's not necessarily the case. You can actually pack Alchemist KFC into this bowl quite well, as that tobacco performs quite a bit like Tangiers, although you want to pack it a little bit less dense. If you're going to extra dense Tangiers down, you want to go one level less and dense it down. If you don't know what these mean, I would definitely go ahead and go up in the search bar on YouTube and just actually search up what a dense and an extra dense pack are. There's a lot of great reviewers on YouTube that have already done videos on this. I plan to, but mine are not out yet, so I can't leave links in the description just yet. Now, I did just say that it smokes fairly well, but if you didn't believe me, I'll put a video like in this area right here so you guys can actually see how it smokes. I'm actually smoking a mixture of Tangiers Dark Plum and Alchemist KFC Bluegrass Berry, which I would highly recommend that mix. It's a very sweet, kind of a fruity mix with some dark undertones. It's definitely very good. But as you can see, I'm getting pretty good clouds and I'm definitely getting full flavor. So there you go. This is absolutely gonna smoke pretty damn well for the price point. Now I do want to get into the price point of this bowl really quick because there's kind of a time factor on it. Normally this bowl costs you 25 bucks, which is about the going price for a regularly sized Tangiers bowl. That is something a little more rare like a Pico or something. So if you want to pick this bowl up right now, I would highly recommend you go over to 5-Star Hookah. And normally I would wait till a little later to plug this, but I think this is pretty important because they have it on sale for $15 right now, and this is an outstanding bowl for $15. I would highly recommend it. As a matter of fact, before I wrap the video up, why don't I go ahead and give it an arbitrary rating for you guys. The 10-point rating system is a little bit vague, but I find that it helps to give you guys kind of a finalized opinion on a product before I actually cut a review. So, taking into account all of the things about this bowl that I just talked your ears off about, I'm going to have to give this bowl a solid rating of 8.5 out of 10. Now, quickly, just to give you my reasoning of why it gets this rating, it is a bit of a one-trick pony. You can smoke Alchemist KFC, you can smoke Tangiers, you can even get away with certain brands like maybe Black Lava, or even in some cases Trifecta Dark Leaf out of this bowl, but you're really not going to be getting any good sessions out of a blonde leaf tobacco from this bowl, so it's a bit narrow, so that's why it's not going as high as a 9. And what keeps it from dipping down below the 8.5 is just the unbelievable build quality. The bowl is gorgeous. And for what it's marketed to do, it performs among the best bowls out there. It's gonna smoke Tangiers for a good 2 hours, 45 minutes, maybe even longer if you're really a trooper and you can handle some of that extra tobacco flavoring coming in at the end of your session. So yeah, a solid 8.5 out of 10 for the Tangiers Iridescent Bowl. Now that I cut myself off right in the middle of my 5-Star Hookah plug, I'd like to maybe mention a way that you guys can get some money off of your 5-Star Hookah order if you decide to order things besides the Tangiers Iridescence Bowl on your actual order. If you want to get 15% off of anything off of your 5-Star Hookah order, excluding anything already on sale, like this bowl is currently, because they can't be giving shit away for free, you can go ahead and use my coupon code that's PIPED15, P-I-P-E-D-15, that's going to get you 15% off anything excluding what's already on sale, like I just said. Links are in the description as always if you maybe want to follow the link to the screen to purchase this, or maybe I'll leave some other links down there. Maybe I'll find some videos for you guys on how to do these dense packs and everything. All of that good stuff. Maybe I'll even leave a super cheap review down there. I'm not really sure. This all happens in post. But if you feel this video gave you any type of value whatsoever, I would highly recommend subscribing for more content just like this, brought to you guys on bare minimum 2 times a week. And if you like this video, I would highly recommend giving a thumbs up, because that tells me that you guys liked my shit and you want to see more of it. And if you didn't like it, please give it a thumbs down and leave a hateful comment down in the comments box below so I can know that you guys don't like my stuff. FYI, I'm going to make it anyway, but I kind of like the idea of making stuff that people do not like. If you guys have any comments, questions, criticisms, or concerns, drop them down into the comments below as well. That way I know what you guys want to see. Maybe you have some questions about the review of the product in general, and maybe you can request a product review for me to do in the future, because I'd be more than happy to bring you guys some information on a product before you spend your hard-earned money on actually paying for that product. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, happy smoking.